Hello, my name is Brooks Winchell from the Center for Excellence in Learning and Teaching at Cambridge College. And in this video, we're going to talk about advanced Zoom features. I created a basic Zoom video that covers basic Zoom features such as joining a meeting you're invited to, managing your experience in the meeting, creating a Zoom account, setting up your own meetings, running meetings in host settings, and Zoom apps. So that training is approximately 15 minutes. You can actually reach that video at this link right here, and I'm also going to make that link available on MyCC too. But in this video, we assume that you know the basics of Zoom, which is that you know how to join a Zoom meeting, manage a Zoom meeting, host your own Zoom meeting, and some basic features like how to share your screen. In the advanced Zoom video, we're going to talk about meeting settings and sort of more finite settings that you can set. We're going to talk about polling, how to add polls to your meeting and how to run polls. We'll talk about how to record Zoom meetings to the cloud. We're going to talk about sharing computer sound when you're sharing video, making someone a host or a co-host, which is an important feature if you're sharing a meeting with somebody else, sharing a file in the chat, annotating in whiteboard, collaborative features, and remote control of somebody else's Zoom presentation, and managing breakout rooms. So first, let's talk a little bit about setting up Zoom in the settings. So you access your Zoom settings through the cloud-based Zoom application, which you'll find at zoom.us. So you want to go to zoom.us, and then you log in there. And once you're logged in, you click Meeting Settings in the top left over here. And that'll open up a whole list of settings. So here we can see a few: host video, participants video, whether or not those are on or off. If it's blue, it's on. If it's white, it's off. So there are many features in here, and I think that if you're really serious about hosting Zoom meetings, you probably want to go through those features and think about which ones you want to enable or which ones you want to disable. There are security features like requiring people to have passwords to join. There's also turning on certain features in Zoom, like turning on polling and turning on file transfer. Some of those may already be on, but if you want to use some of these advanced features, you want to go to Meeting Settings and then scroll down through the features and check particularly that file transfer is enabled so that you can share files through the chat, that polling is enabled if you want to use polling, that annotation and whiteboard are enabled, which they usually are, that remote control is enabled, which may or may not be, and that breakout rooms are enabled. So you'll find that again at zoom.us, log in, click Meeting Settings, and there you'll find your whole list of settings. Underneath Meeting Settings in the Zoom online site, you'll see Recordings. So recordings host all of your cloud-based recordings. So if you're in a Zoom session, which we're going to look at in a second, and you record that session and you choose to record it to the cloud, it's going to record that session and then it'll post your video here in the cloud. So you can see I have several that I've posted in here. So you can actually, if you click share, it'll give you a link and it'll allow you to share that video. So it's already in the cloud, it's already hosted. You just get a link that you can share with students or you can share with other people. So that's really easy. A lot of the other recording softwares like Camtasia, which I frequently use, you have to record it, then you have to process it, then you have to upload it to a host like YouTube or something. So Zoom's cloud-based recording is much easier to share. You can also, under More, download those videos too. And we're going to talk more about recordings in the next Zoom for Faculty training session. The other thing that you'd want to do in the online Zoom platform to set up before a meeting if you want to use it is polling. So polling has to be set up before you actually join the meeting in order for polling to be available within the meeting. So after you set up a meeting, which we talked about in the basic Zoom video, you want to go back to Meetings and then click the meeting that you set up that you want to create a poll for. And this is what the bottom of that Zoom meeting will look like. At the very bottom, you'll see a bar that says you have not created any polls yet. If you click Add, that'll allow you to create a new poll. So it'll pop up a screen just like this, and it'll say, what are your polling questions? You put the questions in, you put the answers in, you choose the correct answer, and then you can keep adding questions depending on how many you want in the poll. You can give that poll a title, and then you save it at the end. All right, and that'll set up your polling so that if you want to use that within a meeting, when you launch the meeting, you'll have the poll button available. You can just click that, choose your poll from the list, based on the name you set up and launch that poll, which we're going to look at in a second. But all of this is managing Zoom through the online platform. So let's talk about when you actually start a session, how do these features work within the session? So we'll do utilizing advanced features in a Zoom session. So here we are in a Zoom session, and we'll start with polling since we were just talking about that. So here's an example of an online meeting with 3 participants, me, another version of me, and test 2. And as you can see on the bottom, we have a little polling button here now. That wouldn't appear until after you set up the poll. But once you set up your poll, you start your meeting, and if it's a class or something like that, you'd run your class, and then when it's time to run the poll, you just click that, you choose the poll you want, and you launch it. And when it launches the poll, you'll click Launch Poll, and it'll send that poll and all the questions out to everybody else. So all the participants will be able to fill out the poll and click Submit. And as they click Submit, it'll send their results back to your tracking screen here. So you'll be able to see how many people have submitted the poll and what they answered for each question. And once everybody's submitted their poll, there'll be a button that pops up that says Share Poll with Participants. If you click that, it'll share the results of the poll to participants, and you can talk about it, they can see the results, and you can answer those questions together. So it's a really nice feature for a class, right? If you want to gauge students' learning, you could create a poll that sort of informally gauges their learning or understanding. So it's a nice feature to use. Also with recording, we talked about where recordings go on the back end, but when you're in your Zoom session, there's always a button here that says Record if you have the Zoom Pro. And we talk about how to set up Zoom Pro accounts in the basic Zoom session. So if you're in a Zoom Pro account and you launch your meeting and you're the host, you'll have this record capability right here. So if you want to record your session, which could be recording all the participants or recording the PowerPoint that you put up there, you just click Record, and you can choose Record to the computer or Record to the cloud. Cloud recordings are the ones that I would recommend because those are the ones that actually get uploaded and hosted directly to Zoom that you can just share the link with. If you record to the computer, it'll record it to a local file, but it won't have any online hosting, so you'll still have to host it with another platform like YouTube. And then when you're done, you just click that record button again, or actually it'll turn into a stop button. So you'll push the stop button, then it stops it, and then it records it, and it saves it into the cloud. Another thing to keep in mind is sharing video, right? So a lot of times when you're teaching a class or if you have a video conference, you may want to share a video. Most videos share through Zoom. Most things on YouTube share through Zoom. There are some copyrighted videos, like on Amazon. If you bought a copyrighted video, it may have some security features that don't allow you to share that through Zoom. So, and that's usually like a high quality produced video with built-in security features. So if you bought a video, you probably want to test it on Zoom to make sure that it's going to share. But if it's a general video on YouTube or an educational video, probably it'll be fine to share through Zoom. So if you want to share a video, you can just call up that video. Here's a video of a professor from Cambridge College. And we could click the video to play it, and whoever's watching the Zoom session or whoever's in the Zoom session will see that video playing. But one issue is that they may not hear the sound. So this is an extra step that you have to share, that you have to do if you're sharing video, is you have to make sure you click the More button at the top. And then underneath More button, there's a feature called Share Computer Sound. You want to click that button and then turn your speakers down so that participants will be able to hear the computer audio through their computer. Otherwise, they're just hearing your microphone and whatever sound of the video that microphone happens to capture, and it won't sound very good. So you want to turn your volume down on your microphone, and you want to share the computer sound so that the participants on the other side can see that. So that's something to keep in mind in terms of sharing video. Another important feature, advanced feature, is making someone a co-host. So if you have a meeting with a lot of people in it or a big meeting, you may want to have 2 co-hosts so that the other co-host has the ability to record and also to run breakout rooms and also to mute people. So that's pretty nice if you're running a big meeting. So to make somebody a co-host, it's pretty easy. You just click the Manage Participants, and it'll show all the participants in the list. You click the More button next to the participant you want to make a co-host, and then click this Make a Co-host button. And then that person will become a co-host, and he or she can record and do breakout rooms and things like that. So those are all really important advanced features in Zoom. The next few slides talk about collaborative tools in Zoom, which are also advanced features for sharing and group work and teamwork. So one thing you may want to do as you're collaborating, or if you're running a meeting, is sharing files, right? So you can actually share files through Zoom through the chat bar. So if you click Chat, and then over on the right next to More, you click Share File in a Meeting, right here. It'll open up a browser, and it'll allow you to upload a file. It could be a Word document or a PDF or any other type of file. And that file will get uploaded right in the chat. But you want to make sure that you're chatting that to everyone, not just to a specific person. So chat it to everyone so that everybody can see in the chat the video that you're sharing. So that's sharing files via chat. Good collaborative tool for communicating back and forth and sending files and documents back and forth via Zoom as you're actively using them in the meeting. Another really important collaborative tool is annotation. So Zoom has a lot of built-in annotation features. So if you're in Zoom and you're sharing your screen, you can click this button at the top called Annotate, and it'll pull up this annotation bar. And that'll give you several different tools that'll allow you to annotate the screen. So you can click the pencil, which is draw right here, and that'll allow you to make these marks like that. So you can draw right on anything that's being shared. It could be a web page, it could be a file. You draw right on the shared content. You can also make text boxes here if you click text, and then you can erase everything. And you actually have the option to save all those annotations too at the end if you want, and you can download them. So annotation is another important advanced feature. Along those lines, there's a whiteboard. So when you share your screen, instead of sharing content like we saw the web page in the previous one, if you choose to share a whiteboard, it'll just pop up a white space like this, and it'll have the annotation tools available so that you can collaborate with somebody else, making marks, making text boxes back and forth. This is really good if you're working one-on-one with somebody, like on a paper, or if you're doing tutoring, like let's say you're doing math tutoring, you could easily draw graphics in here too. So another very good collaborative tool is the whiteboard. This one is one of my favorite, requesting remote control. It's a little creepy, but it's very helpful, I think, especially if you're collaborating on a document. So if somebody is sharing their screen and you click View Options, Request Remote Control, it'll send a message to that person requesting remote control of their shared content. So they'll get a message like this that says, somebody's asking to control your content. That means somebody wants to control your screen share. If you approve that, that person will get control access to what you're sharing in your screen. So somebody on the other end would be able to move this up and down, click through these pages. So you're basically giving up control of your computer to somebody else. It's a really great collaborative tool because if I'm a student, let's say, and I pull up a Word document and the professor requests control and I approve it, then that professor can actually move my Word document up and down, make comments right in my Word document, make corrections right in my Word document. So it's another really great collaborative tool. The one thing that's a little creepy about it, and then I said it was creepy, is that if you're sharing your screen and you're not sharing a particular app, whoever's controlling it has access to anything your screen can get to, which means not just the web page that you're on or the file that you're on, but any of your files in the back end. I mean, hopefully you'll be watching that person control your computer, but it's just something to be cognizant of, is that remote control actually can potentially give that person full access to your computer. But it is a really great collaborative tool since it allows you both to work actively on shared content. The last feature that we're going to talk about is breakout rooms. So breakout rooms are a really cool advanced feature, collaborative feature for creating small groups. So if you're in a Zoom session like this one, and you're the host, you'll have this button called Breakout Rooms in the Zoom Pro version. So if we click that, a box will pop up and it'll say assign, all the participants, like let's say there's 10 participants, it'll say assign 10 participants into, and you can select how many rooms, 2, 3, 4 rooms. Create rooms, it'll automatically assign an equal portion of the people on Zoom into the number of rooms you assign. You can also manually assign rooms by clicking here, and that'll allow you to choose who goes into each rooms. So this is really great for faculty or for big Zoom sessions that also have smaller components where you want to put people in rooms to talk back and forth. So you just create the rooms, and then they'll get a message that says, click here to join the room. It'll join them right into the room, and whoever joins will be put in the same room. And then as the host, you're outside of the rooms, right? But you have the option to see who's in every single breakout room and click this button to join a particular breakout room. So you can join a breakout room, you can leave it, you can join another breakout room, leave it, which is kind of a nice way to facilitate moving into the rooms. You can also broadcast a message to everybody. So if you click this, a little window will pop up, you can write a message and hit send, and it'll send that message to everybody in all of the rooms. So that's really great for saying something like, now it's time to move the conversation to the next question, or we're going to close down the rooms in 2 minutes, so get ready for that. And then at the end, when you're done, you click close rooms, and it doesn't automatically close the rooms. It gives participants in the breakout rooms a minute, 60 seconds to either jump back to the main room, or at the end of that 60 seconds, it'll automatically put them back into the main room. So that's kind of a nice feature too. The breakout rooms allows you to create those smaller groups as part of a bigger group. So there's other features in Zoom. I think this presentation covers the advanced features that are most common, but there are a few other features that you may be interested in, especially security features for the meeting. Like if you want people to have passwords to join and things like that, you can set that up. And you'd find all that again under meeting settings. So that's it. So those are the main advanced features of Zoom. Hopefully that was helpful and you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, I'm Brooks Winchell again from the Center for Excellence in Learning and Teaching at Cambridge College, and you can email me at celt@cambridgecollege.edu. Thanks.